hi to everybody. Thank you for coming to the UW System Virtual Career Trek featuring Halvor Logistics and hosted by University of Wisconsin Superior. My name is Heather Rickrell. I'm the Assistant Director of Career Services and the Career Counselor at UW Superior. I want to send out some thank yous here. Haley Carr, she works with me in UW Career Services. She's a Career Trek Committee member. She's managing the technology for all of the treks that are going on. And if you have any issues during the course of this webinar, this trek, be sure to reach out and let Haley know about that. Haley will be posting some official registration links throughout the time here. Just do it once, but she'll be posting it as people join in. So that way then we can have attendance recorded in case that's needed for any reason. I'll talk just briefly about the treks. This is a UW system-wide initiative. They'll be hosted virtually in the fall of 2020 and in the spring of 2021. And you can expect 13 different treks each semester, with one UW school hosting a trek each week. So hoping for a total of about 26 of these. You will see employers from across a wide range of industries, a wide range of sizes, and a wide range of majors and disciplines that they're hiring from. So I also want to mention that this initiative is supported by UW System President Tommy Thompson. There's a nice press release that went out earlier in September. So you can find that probably on your local news outlets. And a heads up that next week's trek will feature Oshkosh Corporation, and it will be hosted by UW Oshkosh. So without further ado, this week the company is Halvor Logistics, and we have, I know Chelsea for sure is on the call, so I will hand it over to Chelsea. Thanks for being here today.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, we're always happy to partner with UWS, and especially being in the Superior community. Really excited that this could work. This is our first virtual job fair, so it's really cool that you guys are able to put this together. So my role here at Halvor Lines, I'm the Director of Human Resources, so I do deal with a lot of the hiring of our non-driver staff. We do have several drivers that are handled by another department, and then Pete Majkozak, who will also be speaking, he's our Director of Logistics. So we are, part of the same company, but kind of separate entities in a way. And we deal with different things. So I've got a slideshow. I hope you can all see it. Was just going to talk a little bit about our company. Pete will touch on the logistics side, and then we'll also talk about some different career opportunities that we may have in the future. So starting out, this is a PowerPoint that we actually present to our new drivers coming on board. Currently, we've got, I want to say, about 650 drivers and another 120-ish office staff. So we are quite a large company. This picture here is actually one of our drivers. He's been with us for many, many years. So I think he was kind of excited to be the face of Halvor Lines. We've got our mission statement here. We're really focused on, providing transportation services across the United States and Canada. We are providing services in all 49 states and Canada. We're really focused on our relationships with our customers, our employees, safety, equipment, being professional, and really being that positive image in the trucking industry. I think sometimes the trucking industry gets a bad reputation, but we really pride ourselves on being professional and having really professional drivers and employees. A little bit about the company. So Halvor Lines was founded in 1968 by Bill Vinge and 4 partners. So we are over 50 years. So when we hit our 50 year in business, I know we had a little bit of a celebration. I think it was just like, wow, we've made it this far. Started out as a 5 truck company now, and this should be updated because we do have more than that now, but we've definitely grown a lot over the years. A little bit about our business. So we handle different modes, different trailer types regarding transportation. So flatbed, dry van, temperature controlled, and deck van. I'm not sure how many of you may be in the transportation area of UWS, but all of those trailers most likely you've seen on the road when you've been driving down the road. Your flatbed is going to be a flat bed, just like it sounds, where you'll see items that would be potentially strapped on top of that. The dry van, probably the most common out there. Temperature controlled are the refrigerated trailers, allow us to haul items that need to be temperature controlled. A lot of fruit, fish, food products. I know now we're going to be gearing up for the Jenny-O turkey season, really ramping up freight for that upcoming season. And then we do have 5 locations. So we've got our main terminal in Superior, Wisconsin. We've got a logistics office in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, Rosemount, Minnesota, and Inver Grove Heights. We've got 2 buildings down there. One of them is actually a CDL school. So we train drivers to get their CDL and then put them through our training program. A location in South Bend, Indiana, and then newest would be our Des Moines location. We do have a couple slides in here kind of about our amenities. It's something that we really like to highlight to our drivers, just about what we've got to offer. We are, I believe, the largest employer in Douglas County. Rosemount is a newer facility, very nice facility, large shop. We're really prideful on the amenities we can provide our drivers, you know, laundry. We've got flat screen TVs in the facilities, a really nice lounge area, fitness workout areas. We do have fitness equipment our drivers can also take with them. Inver Grove Heights, this facility is still open to drivers, but then also houses our new school. South Bend is a smaller facility. Again, just another great location with where our freight runs. Des Moines, also very similar. Been open about a year and a half now. We're really growing that area quite a bit just because it is another great hub for us to have. And now I'll turn it over to Pete to go over the next couple slides here. Oh, and Pete, are you on mute? Oh, Pete, I think you might be muted. Okay, I think we might have lost him, so I'll keep going and then hopefully he'll be able to jump back on. Logistics is the division of our company that's not asset-based. So on the Halvor Lines side, we've got our own trucks, our own trailers. We've got drivers that we're working with on their hours of service, on getting them home when they need to, making sure they're fueling where we need them to. The logistics side is all just working with carrier partners. So they've got a ton of carrier partners nationwide and do a lot of different things. So it can be a really exciting department and very fast moving. This is a list of some of the customers that we work with. Quite a few, and I know Pete could touch on these a little bit more, but yeah, we've got a lot of customers listed, and we just continue to expand that. This slide, Halvor Moves America, really shows kind of where we do a lot of business. So you can kind of see the Midwest area up through the East Coast is the most populated. Oh, there we go.
There we go. It just took me a little bit. Sorry about that. I just had to call in once
okay.
more and do the correct. If you want to go back to the logistics side, I can just kind of touch base. I know I heard what you said here a little bit. So yeah, we're 40 years younger than our asset-based company. Was originally created for all our overflow freight from our asset company. You know, there's in all aspects of business and transportation, especially seasonality is a big piece of the freight world. You know, you have a lot of, as we mentioned, like a turkey push for Thanksgiving. You have your retail season, you have your food and beverage season in the summers, especially near the summer holidays. So it was created for our overflow for our asset company. And we really, basically anything that doesn't go on a Halvor Lines trucks get routed through logistics. So we contract with a lot of local and trucking companies really all over the 48 states, Alaska, and Canada as well. So we have a lot of small to large trucking companies that we contract freight out with. We have our own basis of customers, as Chelsea's doing. Our freight mix is extremely diverse. It's one of, I think, the things that really separate us from our competition. I mean, if you can pinpoint, there is just about anything you can think of. I mean, we have food, beverage, construction material, building material, technology, furniture, paper, really stuff for the automotive industry. So it really helps us level that curve. And I think we were very thankful, especially during a time like 2020 where you had some industries that completely shut down from March and April, and we were able to pick up our paper products and the toilet papers and the hand sanitizer and the cleaning materials during that period of time. So it's one of those things. Here's a map of where you would see our trucks basically any second of the week. As you can see, we have a huge concentration from Minnesota through the East Coast. Granted, that's where a good chunk of the population lives, so that's where a lot of the products are going. If you did zoom out the whole North America, you'd see a couple in Canada once in a while, and you'd also see a couple in Alaska too as well. That's kind of a niche. We do some recreational vehicles up to Alaska. Not many people do it. The drivers that do get to go have it as a badge of honor that they get to go drive out to Alaska. It's pretty unique for them to be able to do that. Again, like we mentioned, Halvor hauls it all. This is our freight mix. As you can see, extremely diverse, very healthy pie chart. And that really enables us to be a healthy company, especially through a year like 2020. As a group, we were just so thankful that we had so many different products to choose from, because this year factories were completely shutting down, building materials were completely shutting down. It really just, we moved all our resources into the consumer goods, paper, and frozen food products, and the fresh food as well.
Perfect. So I can touch a little bit on the safety component, and that's a really big piece of our company, is that we're safe on the road. So a couple things that we have, in-cab cameras. So all of our trucks have outward-facing cameras that do allow us to coach on certain events, whether it's a negative or a positive event. We do have staff here that help with the coaching. And a lot of drivers really like to have the cameras, because if they do get into an accident, you know, and it's not their fault, they have proof. So it can help exonerate them in the event of a, you know, a legal issue there. Driver simulator, that's the picture right in the middle. So we've got this available to do training on an annual basis. And then if there's any, you know, accidents, we may use this tool to help, just to help correct some of those safety issues that might be occurring. We also love to get students on this when we do tours, usually with the transportation logistics group. I will say a lot of the students probably shouldn't drive a truck from what I've seen, but it's always really fun to just kind of see what it's like and the reaction times, and you know how long it takes to slow down and those kind of things. Our CSA scores are very low. We offer mentoring for new drivers. Again, the coaching. We've got a Smith system course that all of our drivers and our office staff go through. It's more of a defensive driving course, really good common sense practices that really change the way you think about driving every day. And then some of our awards, we continue to get safety awards and do our best to keep our drivers and the public safe. Equipment, we'll just touch on this very briefly, but this just lists some of the different trailers that we have. We've got a really new equipment, which is why a lot of drivers like to come to us. I think the 2016 would be our oldest tractor trailer, and then we typically trade them once, the warranty's getting to the end. This is a really key piece. Our IT department is very robust. There's a lot of technology that we utilize that our drivers can utilize. They've got tablets in their trucks, a lot of apps that they can use for not only logging but communicating, uploading pictures if they get into an accident, any cargo issues. So they really have that hands-on way to communicate, and just it helps us all be more efficient.
Yeah, I'll touch a little bit more on the technology side. I mean, right now, they kind of said transportation and trucking was the last frontier of technology companies, and you're seeing a lot of the Silicon Valley big tech companies and startups coming in with a lot of private equity funding. We use on the logistics side a lot of, there's a product by FreightWaves that's called Sonar, and it looks at what carrier rejection rates are doing from a spot market pricing. So each morning I can pinpoint into a certain area, like I could look at the greater metro and look at what percentage of shipments are being rejected by the day, and I can go back all the way through the past 2+ years, and so I can look at, are things trending up? Is outbound shipments gaining momentum? Is pricing going to be going up, or is pricing going to be going down? So that's the kind of stuff that I look at, and we also use a product via the DAT. It's called load to truck ratios. And again, that will pinpoint into certain different markets on exactly what is the estimated trucks per load available ratio. And again, that's used to do spot market pricing, contract pricing, and really looking at what's going to be the difficulty of finding this shipment. We mentioned the apps. We also have a app for our carrier partners too, so they can go completely paperless, get all their BOL, they can completely scan it, they can check into a facility, they can check out, so they can really talk to a human as much as they want because they have our numbers, or as little as they want. So we really want to give them the flexibility to work with what they prefer. And then the newest thing that we started investing in is digital optimization of freight and loads. So that way a computer is looking at the hours of service a driver has compared to what mile they would have to deadhead or go empty to their next load, and finding the best possible truck for that shipment that is going to maximize the driver's hours and maximize the delivery to the customer. So that's kind of the technology. It's really exciting, and I'm sure you guys have seen driverless trucks. You've seen a couple of those demos on 60 Minutes. So it's really an interesting time for our industry because there's just so much changing on a day-to-day basis from a technology piece. That's all I had. Thank you, Chelsea.
Perfect. This next slide just talks about our driver turnover rate. We are in the yellow, so you can see where the national average for trucking is and how much lower we are compared to the industry. And I think the difference is just our approach and how we treat our employees and our drivers. It really speaks volumes. You will notice that it has gone up the last few years because we have been hiring a lot more out of truck driving schools. So typically you get a new driver in this industry and they decide it's not for them. Over the road is a very tough career field to be in. The driver's away from their family, out on the road for, possibly 5 to 7 days, possibly a month. It really just depends on where they live and what division that they're in. But we still are very proud to keep that, at or below 40. Health and wellness I touched on just a little bit. So we are very health and wellness focused. We offer free gym memberships to our employees. We do health screenings every year. lot of fun different things. We've got a full-time health and wellness coordinator on site as well who gets us all motivated and, you know, make sure we're not ordering bad food and really helping running some different challenges and things. We're also very active in the community. Obviously, we're mostly known in Superior, but we have done some different things in our other terminal locations. We do a ton of outreach and items with like the Northern Lakes Food Bank. We do donate quite a bit of transportation to that facility. We do a lot with veterans. We've hauled, you know, relief items when there have been hurricanes. We're also involved in Reefs Across America, the Wall That Heals, Polar Plunge. So we do have a group that gets together and jumps in Lake Superior every year. Dragon Boat Festival, Bentleyville, we do actually haul the very large tree that you see there. We haul that every year for free. And again, very focused on the military. We do have a military wrap truck, and then help transport the Wall That Heals and Reefs Across America are some items that we help with. This is our finishing program. So once a driver does graduate from truck driving school, they go out with a trainer for 5 weeks. So they really can get that hands-on experience, and then once they've completed that, they're actually assigned their own truck. So it's very exciting. We've had a lot of success with it, and continue to bring on new drivers and train them. Okay, best fleets to drive for. So far we've been nominated a best fleet to drive for 8 years in a row. This is the top 20 fleets within the United States and Canada. So a very proud accomplishment that we've been able to obtain every year. Again, we put our people first. We've got quality equipment, some different things that we offer for our drivers. We also have a 1,000,000-mile program, so we do recognize drivers that have ran 1,000,000 miles or more, and they get a little award and a decal for their truck. And then to segue from this, I know we're kind of getting about on our time here. I know Pete and I both wanted to talk a little bit about the internship opportunities that we have. So from my perspective, we have a Halvor University internship program that we do typically every year. I know this year, you know, kind of got rattled a little bit because of COVID. I know we weren't doing any in-person training. So we're hoping to be able to do that, you know, in the near future, kind of, you know, putting safety first, of course. But the Halvor University internship program would allow a person to go through every department within the company and really get that well-rounded experience of what the trucking industry is about, and then specifically what Halvor Lines is about. So that person would start out in the recruiting department, then they would work through safety, operations, maintenance, accounting and IT, logistics. We are going to add a sales component in there as well, just so they can see kind of everything and how everything works. And I'll let Pete talk about the logistics internship also.
Yeah, we've had a full-time internship since I've been here, so that's been the past 4 summers, and they've done anywhere from a 12-week to 16-week program, and actually a few of them have worked part-time throughout the fall and spring semesters while they finish their senior year of classes. What the internship looks like is it's a really short training window where we're really focused on hands-on. You're going to come in day one, you're going to do a couple ride-alongs, sit along with some of the other employees, and then for the most part, you're going to have a mentor, and then you're just going to run it on itself. We have an open door policy where anyone's available if you have any questions or if you haven't run any issues. And basically, by the end of the 12 to 16 weeks, you're doing everything that a full-time employee would do. So it really gives you a good feel of the industry, of our company, and what the different roles within logistics would entail.
Perfect. Yeah, and then you know, as positions come up, we typically will utilize Indeed to post those positions. We are working on getting more positions on our website as they become available, but Indeed is typically where everything is posted. But overall, you know, we're really happy to be here with you guys. I believe now, you know, if anybody has questions, we can certainly answer them, but otherwise we really thank you for being here and taking the time.
Okay, Chelsea, we have one question. This is Heather. The question is, do you offer a job shadow for those unable to do internships?
That's a really good question. You know, we've never really been asked before. So I think depending on the position, that's something we would definitely be open to if somebody wanted to come in and just kind of sit and see kind of what it's like. Yeah, I think that's something we'd definitely be open to, and I would encourage them to reach out to myself and Human Resources, and we could talk further about it.
Awesome. Would you mind posting your email perhaps in the chat for everybody?
Sure, definitely.
Okay. And then I just want to mention here while we're waiting for other questions to come in, Dr. Richard Stewart from University of Wisconsin-Superior is on the call with us today too. I know he's been instrumental in helping us develop relationships with companies like Halvor and so forth as well. And so just wanted to say hi and recognize him for being with us today. One more question has come in. Do you post jobs in Handshake in addition to Indeed? Handshake is our job posting site that many in the UW system use.
You know, so we do not. I do have a active account, so I can work with Chelsea on getting set up with Handshake too as well, because I know I've used them with prior career fairs too through the UWS system.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and Haley can help you with Handshake as well if you need a connection at UW Superior. Thank you. Another question came in. Are there classes you like to see students have taken before hiring them for internships?
You know, now you plug Dr. Stewart, I'll plug him as well. Right now, the TNL program is absolutely excellent. If you can get visibility to any of the transportation and logistics programs, you definitely have a leg up. What I've noticed is people come out of that program definitely. We've been so lucky to utilize that program because they've been able to, they understand the industry and step right in and understand the different nuances. I also serve on the Transportation and Logistics Advisory Board for UWS. So we've been able to plug certain programs, and Dr. Stewart and Professor Russ definitely take all our input very seriously. And so I've seen the program just grow and grow and grow. I've been able to do a couple lunch talks with club students there too as well. And so I would say just getting involved with the TNL clubs and utilizing some of their different classes is certainly a help.
Do you hire outside of the transportation and logistics discipline area?
We do. I mean, we have, you know, with in order to service our 600 plus drivers, there is so many different departments here, and especially now that we've been on such an aggressive growth plan, new departments are getting started. I mean, on a quarterly basis, we just started a pricing department, for example. That would be the one, you know, that 2-3 years ago, we never thought we would have the need for a pricing department, but now with the amount of bid requests coming in, and especially the volatility of the market, we've really been able to take advantage of our pricing department and looking at predictive forecasts of freight volumes and stuff like that. So absolutely, we're always just looking for good, strong people that can make a difference. One of my, I think, my favorite thing about working at Halvor here, it'll be 6 years in November, is how much of a different company it was when I started in 2014 than it is today. You know, I've been able just to grow with it and been able to move in different positions in different departments just because of the growth and the opportunity there.
That's incredible. All right, we had 2 more questions come in. So the first is, in addition to Indeed, do you offer job alerts through your website so we can receive them when posted?
That's something that we don't currently have, but that's something I will reach out to our IDT department and see if that's something that we could do.
Okay. And the second,
I like that.
yeah, those are handy for students. It just helps them be efficient. The second question is, do you plan on starting a driver training program in the Twin Ports?
Sure. So, so our CDL training program actually just started mid-August, and that was because we had the facility in Inver Grove Heights, and then we had our terminal in Rosemount. So it kind of just worked that we already had the facility. I think if we grew it large enough, that might be something that we would consider in the future. I haven't heard any talk of that right at this moment, though.
Okay. And does Halvor plan to move to southern states or for other office locations?
That's an excellent question, Dominic. So, one of the reasons South Bend was so perfect was our main traffic lane is from, Minnesota, Wisconsin to the East Coast. And South Bend is pretty much exactly 1 day transit for the driver from Superior or the Twin Cities. So it gives them a perfect reset point, and it's 1 day to New Jersey or New York from there. So it was a strategic location. I think the Des Moines location was a start of our southern sprawl as we start moving in our freight network towards the south as well. There's been some slight internal discussions. Atlanta, Georgia's kind of, I would say, one of the 3 or 4 major logistics hubs with all the rail lines connecting in Atlanta, Georgia. So I could see if our customer base, if we had the need, that we could start with something, similar to a South Bend or a Des Moines location down there. So really, that it just kind of depends as we grow, looking at what makes the most sense to service, one, our drivers, and then number 2, to service our customers. So I think we're very open-minded, pending on how that looks here in the next 12 to 18 months.
Excellent. Are there any other questions out there for Pete or Chelsea? Okay. How do you see the JIT production strategy evolving past COVID? And does that affect your ability to service food service customers?
Well, that just-in-time production was really the buzzword of the last 3 to 5 years. Everyone really wanted to minimize inventory, and in order to keep that, and it put a lot of pressure on the supply chains, and the supply chains had to evolve in order to support that. Obviously, with COVID and with some of that, and the ports really being shut down and the production being shut down overseas. I know my wife works in retail, and she was really drastically affected by the factory shutting down in Asia. So I think everyone is right now really still trying to do a mix of the just-in-time, but I think they saw the value that they had if they had inventory on hand when they had such a disruptor happen like this. So I think it's really hard. I think it's still a little too early to tell on how that will affect it. I know this year, we saw in March and April the lowest shipments on record since they've been keeping track. And then now, last week was the highest shipments on record that since they've ever tracked. So 2020, we've seen the lowest of low, and then we've seen the highest of high, all within about a 3 to 4 month range. So I can't say enough. This has been one of the most interesting years, personally and professionally, from a supply chain perspective. So I think the best answer to that one is I got to just kind of wait and see for everything on that. If I had a crystal ball, I don't know if I'd be in this office right now, is what I gotta say.
Isn't that the story all around, right? They didn't give
Yeah,
us crystal balls for these things. Okay, another question has
no.
come in. Are opportunities available remotely, or are these all on-site based?
Yeah, if you would have asked us, 6 months ago, I would have said on site. But we are, with COVID, we had to send half of our staff home. And I think we've really learned a lot about telework and the benefits of it. So I know that is something that the company and leadership is definitely more open to, and I think a lot more of our positions are going to be available for remote work. We've been kind of in the process of evaluating those, so yes, I think that that's definitely going to be an option in the future.
Yeah, to second that, half of my team is currently remote and half is in our different facilities. So to piggyback off what Chelsea said, we've really changed a lot of our external thinking on that since about 8 months ago. So, the onboarding, I think remote is, especially for someone that's coming in new to the industry, it's a little more difficult than what you would pick up surrounded by people talking around in a group or a pod setting. So that's one of the challenges. So I think, as this goes, some sort of mix, in-person remote would be ideal in my world, at least until a person's fully comparable, unless, we have implemented some really strong mentorship programs where I think that could work onboarding someone 100% remotely. So, but I think we're definitely very open to both ideas. And certain people prefer different settings, I guess. It also would come down to a lot of what that potential hire would want to do.
Okay, putting a call out for any other questions. Now is really the time to ask. Anybody have any other things they want to ask of Chelsea and Pete? Give folks a little bit of time here to type if needed. Chelsea, Pete, I'll leave it up to you if you'd like to put your email addresses in the chat for students to connect with you, or phone number, whatever contact info. Again, that's up to you.
Absolutely. Feel free or connect on LinkedIn too. Utilize LinkedIn quite a bit. And if you're looking for certain industry knowledge, share a lot of different charts and stuff like that on LinkedIn as well. So.
Oh, great to know. Thanks, Pete. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a lot of thank yous rolling in. Not really any questions. So any last words, Pete and Chelsea, before I do the closing piece?
I don't think so. I think just, thank you everyone for being here. And if you ever have questions, just feel free to reach out to either one of us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Haley. Thanks a lot, Heather, for this opportunity. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so I just want to again thank Pete and Chelsea from Halvor Logistics based out of Superior, Wisconsin for joining the UW System Career Trek today. They gave us a lot of really helpful information. It's nice to see a very adaptable company and growing as well and changing, so that's pretty awesome. I want to thank again the UW System Career Trek Committee for their collaboration on this project and bringing all of these great employers and opportunities to UW System students. I also want to let everybody in the audience know that the trek today has been recorded and it will be made live for viewing no later than noon on the upcoming Monday. And then recorded treks can be found at the website at www.uwrf.edu/career treks. And I'm going to try to cut and paste that into the chat here so you can all see it. So there that is. You can find, I watched last week's trek just the other day. So this will be posted by Monday, and you can go ahead and grab it, share it, whatever you'd like to do. So I don't see any other questions. And so I think we'll just go ahead and thank everybody for being here today. And thanks again to Pete and Chelsea. Take care, everybody. Be well. Stay safe.